Alright guys, so I'm having some technical difficulties. This is try number 3. This is a cylinder. We were trying to figure out what the cylinder looks like from the top and the side. So it's kind of like a paper towel tube. If you've ever looked down a paper towel tube, it looks like a circle from the top. And it looks like a rectangle from the side. So similar to viewing a 3D object from different perspectives, a cross-section is formed when a 3D object is either cut or sliced in various directions. Now, each of the 3D figures below will be cut perpendicular to the base. Remember that perpendicular means that it forms a right angle with the base. What shape is the cross-section that's formed by this cut? So first you need to know that this is the base of the shape. So cutting it perpendicular would be cutting it this way. When you cut it that way, it's like cutting a candy bar open. Think of if you split a candy bar open and looked at the inside, you would probably see 2 rectangles. So that's what we're talking about. We would see a rectangle if I sliced it open right down the middle like this. This is a pyramid. Here's the base. So if I cut it, I would probably be looking at a triangle if I looked at it from the side. And this cube, the base, we would say the base is the top or the base is the bottom. And if we cut perpendicular, we would be looking at a square. Now, there are 3 different ways a figure can be sliced. It can be sliced parallel to the base, perpendicular, or at an angle. So on the back, it talks all about this. You're given 5 figures, and it wants you to figure out which fits each of these clues. So what forms a circle when sliced perpendicular to the base? Remember, that's at a right angle to the base. Well, the only thing here that even looks like a circle would be the sphere. But when we slice it at an angle, it's a little more elongated. It looks like an oval when sliced at an angle. The what forms a triangle when sliced parallel to the base? Well, we need to figure out the bases on each of these. So this is the base, this is the base, this is the base, this is the base, and this is the base. So which one forms a triangle when you slice parallel, which means you're not touching the base at all? So parallel to the base would look like this. So the only one that would look like a triangle is this shape, which is the triangular prism. And it forms a triangle when sliced parallel to the base, but a rectangle when sliced perpendicular. So when it crosses the base at a right angle, which if we sliced it this way, we would see this rectangle bottom. What 3 figures all have the same thing when you slice them parallel or perpendicular? Well, the sphere, obviously, the cube, and what else do you think? The rectangular prism. Either way you slice it is going to be a rectangle. The rectangular pyramid, so that's the thing on the end, forms a what when sliced at an angle? So when we slice this rectangular pyramid at an angle, it actually forms a trapezoid. So a rectangular pyramid forms a trapezoid when sliced at an angle. Both the blank and the rectangular prism form a parallelogram when sliced at an angle. So that would be the cube. So if we slice at an angle, we get a parallelogram. If we slice here at an angle, we get a parallelogram. And lastly, the rectangular pyramid is the only shape that forms a triangle when sliced perpendicular to the base, which we looked at on the first page. So if I slice this straight up and down, it would be a triangle. Now, use that information to go ahead and do the homework 1 page. But we are going to move on in the notes to the next page. So how do you find the volume of a rectangular prism? This is the easy one. Volume is the total capacity of a three-dimensional object. It describes how much space is taken up by that object, how much space it occupies. So first they want us to shade the base of the rectangular prism below and describe how you would find the area of the base. So here's the base, and that just looks like a regular rectangle or square, so we would do the length times the width to find the area. Same thing here. There's our base. Our area would be the length times the width. And here's our base, and that area is the length times the width. Now, volume can be determined by finding the area of the base, which is big B, and multiplying it by the height of the object. So for all prisms, the volume of the prism can simply be put as the volume equals the area of the base times the height. So big B is the area of the base. Now we can put this a little more simply for each one. The area of a rectangular prism, the area of the base for that one is length times width. So the area of the base is length times width. So to find the volume, the formula would be length times the width times the height. So we have a length, a width, and a height. So volume equals the length is 9 times the width is 6 times the height is 4.5. And you are allowed to use a calculator for this. So when you plug this in, you should find that the volume is equal to 243 centimeters cubed. And we use the cube, the 3, because we are in 3 dimensionals. 3D, it's a 3D shape, so it is cubed. I'm going to let you go ahead and do this page because it's super easy. For everything you do, you're going to be doing volume equals the length times the width times the height for these. And we are going to move on to triangular prisms. So these are a little more complicated. You just need to figure out which part is the base. So a triangular prism uses the same formula, which is the volume equals the area of the base times the height. However, the base is now a triangle. So think back, how do you find the area of a triangle? Well, that was area equals 1/2 base times height, or area equals base times height divided by 2. So let's practice that. To find the area of a triangle, we are going to do the base times the height divided by 2. So this is the base, this is the height. So we're going to do 14 times 7 divided by 2, which comes out to 49 feet squared. Again, the area is the base times the height divided by 2. So here's our base, here's our height. So 6.1 times 3.2 divided by 2. And when you put that into your calculator, you get 9.76. You can do this one by yourself. Now, in the middle it says shade the base of each figure below and label the height. So our base on these triangular prisms are always going to be a triangle. There's our base, and this is our height. Again, it's going to be a triangle, so this is our base, and this is our height. So using this information, we are going to now figure out the volume of this triangular prism. So the formula is the volume equals the area of the base times the height. Remember that the area of the base in this one is the base times the height divided by 2 of just the triangle. So first we're going to find the area of the triangle. So this is our base and our height of our triangle. So that would be 4 times 3.5 divided by 2, which is 7. So that is the area of the base here. And then the height, this is the whole height of the whole thing, is 7. So the volume would equal 49. On the back, I'm going to help you out just a little bit, but you're going to be doing these. So remember that the prism is named by the shape of the base, which are the two faces that do not intersect. So for each of these, I'm just going to go ahead and help you by labeling. This is the base. And where is the height? The height would be here. This is the height. It is going to be the length between the two bases. So this is the other base. This is going to be the height that connects the two bases. So here's a base and the base. And then that makes this the height. And then this one, you have a base and a base. So the thing that connects them is the height. You can finish those 2 pages, and we are going to move on to what is a composite object. Even a 3-dimensional object can be considered composite. The volume of a composite object can be found by adding or subtracting the volume of each shape. So it says decompose each object into different figures and then find the volume of each figure. So you can cut this however you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and cut it like this. So we're going to make this shape 1, this is shape 2. They're both rectangular prisms, so they're both going to have a volume of length times width times height. Length times width times height. So for shape 1, the length is 12. The width is 8. And the height is 6. So multiply that out. For 12 times 8 times 6. And you get 576. And then we do volume of shape 2. So the length is 8. The width, do we know the width? Well, yeah, it's got to be the same width from over here. It's still just 8. And the height is 16. So 8 times 8 times 16 is 1,024. And then we just add those two together. So 576 plus 1,024 is 1,600 millimeters cubed. Now, so for each of these shapes, you are cutting them into pieces that you could recognize. So you can cut it here and here, or you could have cut it across. But you are going to have to figure out how to cut these. Number 4 is the one I'm going to help you with because number 4 is a little bit different. This prism has a cube-shaped hole in the middle. The cube measures 6 by 6 by 6, so 6 all the way around this cube-shaped hole. It's going to be all the way around. What is the volume of the prism? So we need to find the volume and subtract out the hole in the middle. So the volume of this would be the length times the width times the height. So we'll say this is the length is 18, the width is also 18, and this is the height. So this was length, width, height. So let's go ahead and multiply those together, and we get that is 1,944. But that includes this thing in the middle that we need to take out. So we need to subtract, so the cube in the middle, it said it was 6 by 6 by 6. So that means that to find the volume of that, length times width times height, we would be doing 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216. And all we need to do is subtract out the middle. So 1,944 minus 216, and that is 1,728 centimeters cubed. That is the volume for just the section that actually exists without the hole in it. So for 3 and 5, you're going to be adding two things together, not subtracting. And then the rest of this you can do by yourself using all of the information that you've been given, and let me know if you have any questions.